All right, what's up, guys? I just got out of Black Panther, and I want to do this kind of in a live fashion, so I'm not going to do a whole lot of editing on this podcast. You can hear my phone's blowing up because people are texting me saying what I thought of it. But, no spoilers on this. We're going to save all the spoilers for our Monday podcast that comes out on the Disney Movie Review. It's going to be out on Monday. I really enjoyed this movie. I went into the movie theater expecting a good movie. I expected to be entertained. I expected Marvel to do what Marvel does. We had Spider-Man, we had Thor Ragnarok, we had a lot of movies where I've just felt like Marvel has been really upping their game. With Black Panther, I feel like they took it to the next level. I feel like it's important to say that I do not feel like this is the perfect movie. I don't think that this is a perfect 10. But Ryan Coogler does such a good job telling the story that it really doesn't even matter. So I guess in some ways it does make it a perfect 10 because some of the things that I know are mistakes in this movie, or some of the things that I don't exactly feel are great, don't end up mattering. And I get to this point in almost any conversation I've had up till now where I say, hey, stop listening to what I'm saying. Stop texting, stop writing, stop reading what I'm saying, stop listening to what I'm saying. Go see this movie because I promise you, you will have a good time. One thing Cameron asked me when I talked to him just a little bit ago, he asked me, what is this appropriate for kids? I waffle back and forth on that. There is a lot of violence. It is a Marvel movie, but there is some killing in here that is up close and personal. And so I'm not exactly sure that it's appropriate for kids, but the message of this movie is so important that especially if you're a biracial American or a black American or minority, you need to go see this movie because I think there's just so much to digest into this. I find myself going back to that interview we had with Andrea Scandrett, who went to the Black Panther premiere, where she talks about representation. There's so much representation in this movie, so many different viewpoints, so many perspectives, and so many layers for you to just dig into. I think, I feel like I got hit with a Mack truck on this. And honestly, I think that as a black American, this story is incredibly important to me. And that's one of the things I told my wife as soon as I was like, this story is so much more important to me than what I originally thought. I thought I was just going to be entertained, but it's a very important story. But I think the genius of Ryan Coogler is that he takes a story that I think any black American is going to be able to relate to, and he takes it and pulls it out to a wider audience, and not wider. And that's wider as in WIDER, not wider, but wider audience. And I think anybody can really get engrossed in this story, and anyone can see the different themes and things that are happening. And one of my biggest disappointments has absolutely nothing to do with the movie. It has to do with AMC and the fact that they advertised that if you bought a Dolby ticket to go see the movie in a Dolby theater, you could get a Black Panther comic. Turns out my theater wasn't participating in that, so I got to figure out where I can get this Black Panther comic. I may have to go to a comic book store or something like that to actually go ahead and get it, because apparently it's not a limited edition comic, but we'll see. I'll get it eventually. We'll talk through this entire movie, including the music, which I thought I was going to hate because I'm not a huge Kendrick Lamar fan. But only like that much of the music was really Kendrick Lamar. Like the rest was this great soundtrack that I really hope I can find and buy somewhere, and not just get all the Kendrick Lamar produced stuff. Even some of the Kendrick Lamar produced stuff went in better than I thought it would. So, even though I'm not the biggest Kendrick fan, it did come out, and it did really well. So, again, final thing here, just stop looking at what I'm doing and go see the movie. Stop listening, stop reading, stop doing all of that. It is out now at a theater near you. You need to go see this movie, because I promise you, what happens in Wakanda will determine the fate of the rest of the world, the rest of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I can't wait to talk about this, and I can't wait to hear your reaction as well. For now, that'll be it. I'm going to see you guys on Monday.